Hey, I'm remodeling the den in my home, and the first thing I wanted to investigate is the lighting. I wanted to see if I could optimize the lighting for the wide range of things we do in the den, from reading to watching movies or just socializing or working on a computer. That's a wide range of lighting requirements. And so what I want to do is buy some lights to test with. I've got these here. I'm going to be wiring these up with dimmers and sticking them up in the ceiling and temporarily where I can move them around and come up with an optimized design or lighting layout for all the different things we do. So I just grabbed these two from Lowe's. It's a good starting point, I think. They're both recessed canless lights, and they're both 6-inch. There's some slight differences in the two, so I'm going to test the two and see which one might be best for me. This one's the Halo by Cooper. It's 719 lumens, 8.7 watts. This Canless by Unitech, it's 850 lumens at 14 watts. So right from this point, like, I slightly prefer the Halo just because it has a better name and it's easier to remember. This one here, the Canless Unitech. I don't know, but it is rated higher and almost twice as much wattage. So that's also has me wondering about it. So I'm gonna measure the current myself and see what they're requiring. And but they both have 5 color temperature settings, and they're both internally selectable. It's not something you can switch on the fly. The main difference in the two that I've seen really is the Halo has a detached box, an electrical box here, and a little cable with a connector, so it comes apart. Whereas this one here has the box is attached right on the back of the device, so the 120 volts is going to be coming right into the device here, hanging down. I don't really see that as a problem, but we'll see how it. I'm really mostly concerned with how it's going to look and perform. Some LED fixtures tend to flutter and flicker, and I definitely don't want that. And so they're both dimmable, and this one goes down to, they say, 5%, this one 10%. And they have a pretty good CRI rating. This one's 92, 91 here, and that's the color rendering index, which it's supposed to be a measure of how closely they replicate the colors compared to natural light. And so I think anything over 90, they say, is fairly decent. So my plan is to hook these up temporarily with cords so I can move them around with dimmers too. I'm going to screw them up in the ceiling and just move them around, and in the end I'll come up with a design or a layout of the lighting that's optimized for the things we do. And so we'll know exactly, won't be any mystery or surprises once I do the remodeling. Then I'll feel pretty comfortable that the lighting is going to be, optimized. And so we'll get started with that right now. So I'm going to start by taking a look at this Halo here, as it comes in the box. So this is the detached box here, and that's the connector. So there's 3 pins on there. These are the spring-loaded ears that used to hold it. There's a pretty good gasket here to seal it out. And then taking a look at the box here. So the box has some ears here that you can attach it to a stud. And there's the switch to set the color temperature from 27,000 K up to to 5000K. And you open it up, there's these are pretty nice. It's, these push-in connectors. So you just strip the wire back and push it in to make the connection. And it also has a built-in strain release here. Kind of like that. It's kind of nice. And the actual light fixture looks like that, what you would see. And there's some instructions here. And so next I'll take a look at the this one here. This one's called the Unitech Canless. So this one comes with a template for cutting the hole. And there's also something rattling around here loose in the box. It looks like, so this little white piece here, I guess it had fallen out. There's a switch down inside here with, and there's also some engraving here with the settings, the 5 settings from soft white to cool daylight. And there's an arrow here. This looks like it goes down and pops onto that switch. It must have just come undone, but that's what that does. So here on the box here is the has a similar wiring, not quite as many. This one's only got positions for 2 other wires, where the other one had positions for 3. And there's no strain relief included in the box. They just have knockouts here that you pop out, and you add your own knockouts or your own strain relief. So that's something I would have to add to it. And here's the spring wings here. And there's a small gasket here as well. The gasket's kind of small, but I guess if you cut your template close, you might be all right. And it has this is what the light looks like. I'll show you a comparison here of the two. I kind of like this larger one myself. I won't know until I actually light it up and see. But it seems to me it's a little smaller. We'll see how they work. And so what I'm going to do is wire these up now. And I'll probably just go right in here like that. I'm going to wire them separately. So I'm going to temporarily wire this up, and I'm going to use a zip tie here to secure it to the box. I don't want to break that out because I'm not sure if I'm going to want to keep this or not. And I've just got an old extension cord here from Christmas tree lighting things. Let's see if I can get this to, there you go. Thinking about that much will work. I think these clips are designed for solid wires maybe, but not stranded. We'll see. Just gonna plug these in. And I'm not going to bother with the ground because worried about that right now. So I'm going to zip this to that. This is just temporary. Might be able to get that. So I'm also going to be testing this dimmer here that's rated for LED, along with I'm going to be testing it along with my light fixtures. And I'm just going to install it temporarily in this box. Take a quick look at the instructions here. Does not seem to matter which is just 2 black wires, so it doesn't seem to matter which. I'm just going to use this little cord here. Go into that one. And the cord for the fixture I just wired up, I'm just going to stick that in here too. Go ahead and strip it first though. So I'm just temporarily using this box just to house it. This is not really the way these are intended to be used. But I'm just doing this for testing purposes. So the blacks, try this ground on here first. Looks like I may need one more wire nut. I want to make sure of something here first. It says black wires are interchangeable, so it doesn't seem to matter which one goes where, as long as they're black to black. One's the load and one's the line. Got one more here to hook up. And I need one more wire nut. Found one right here. So I can button all this up. So that's my fixture there. I'm also going to make a connection here to this other box so I can power up to so I'm going to run from here to there and power both of them on the same dimmer. I'm going to flip that down. And like I said, I'm not really not hooking the grounds up. Although I might. Let's see, might as well. I'll just plug these in here. And so what I do is I plug the wire in and then I pull it and make sure it's not going to come out. And we'll go ahead and tie in the ground too. And you just tuck all those in. One thing nice about this Halo setup, it has the strain reliefs are already built in there. And so you end up with this is wired up and you just have this plug here to connect in later. And so I'm going to go ahead and terminate it into here as well. And then I can turn these on and see, make sure they work. Then the next step would be to mount them on the ceiling and be able to move them around. I'll go ahead and install this ground here while I'm messing around with it. And of course the white is neutral. And the other thing is there's only 2 other wires you can attach here on this Unitech. I'm sort of leaning toward the convenience of the halo at this point. Seems to be a better design. So I'm going to get another zip tie and tie that one down. Alright, so at this point I've got everything wired up. Let's set this over. And this one here, I can just connect it in. So now, I just need to plug in my dimmer. I'm also going to screw that dimmer in a little better. All right, ready to turn them on and see what happens. So this one's working, this one is not. The hot wire had come unplugged there. I guess it's a good thing I have the ground on there anyway. Okay, now I'm ready to try it again. So there are some differences here for sure. That one comes on immediately in a very low light. This one doesn't seem to come on until a higher level. This is the Halo, and this is the Utilitech. I'm going to turn them both on, bright as they'll go. This one does feel like it's has more heat coming off of it slightly. You can feel there's just a very slight amount, and that's I guess understandable. This is the one that has almost double the wattage. And the other thing that I do like initially is that the area of the light is larger on this one, Utilitech. On the Halo here, it's in a kind of a small spot. So I don't know how that's going to translate when it gets up on the ceiling, but that'll be the next step to see how they work actually. And I want to check the color temperature. They're both at 2700 on the yellow. I'm going to click them up one notch there, see if we can. I'm going to go through the color temperatures. You can see how it might be different. So there's warm white. This is 3000. And there's cool white, 4000. There's daylight, 5000. And there's cool daylight, 6500. And I can do the same on this one here. Right now it's 2700K. There's 3000K, 3500K, 4000, and 5000. So I'm going to switch them all equally. So turn it on wide open here. So they're both set at the highest color temperature. I'll drop them back one click.